Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. It's great to be back again this time of the week where we can put a bit of the rest of the world to bed. We can ignore what's going on in the real world and deal with this fake drama. So, where would you like to start today, Chris?
Well, I know we had a little bit of drama. We were dying out for it, Dave, but let's start where something was quite nice. So we open up with the date of Bree and Matt, don't we? And it's all nice, lovey-dovey. They go out together. I mean, I'll be honest, Dave, I was quite surprised that it was passed off as a joke and it looked like they lay there on the floor. But when that quad bike overturned, they're no joke if they fall on you, Dave.
You know what? Rick Mail.
I was going to say that. Rick Mail,
Yep.
brain damage, didn't he? I think he had a blood clot and stuff from that.
He was never the same again, was he?
No.
Ozzy Osbourne, he was
Yes.
seriously injured with it. I thought the same, and I thought, you know what? I don't want to sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but that is fucking dangerous, right? And the irony of it, he said, "Do you trust me? Do you trust me?" And then he fucks it right up. so, this guy that you've known for a day, do you trust me? Well, for me, it's a nonsense question. Why would you trust him? For me, trust is earned, and it's a thing over time, isn't it? But he's asked for the trust, she's given it to him, and then he's fucked it up. I agree. I think it's fucking dangerous, and like you say, it was just kind of brushed off. And I can imagine at the end of the day, Chris, we're in our 40s. Probably we look at the world a bit more risk averse. You know, if I was in my 20s, I'd be fucking right in there.
Do wheelies and stuff. Yeah, I think I would have been as well.
Even leading up to the bit where he was just going too far. I don't know if you picked up on this, but I mean, it looked great, and we'll get to some of the other girls' reactions because all the girls were looking on, some of them more jealously than others. But when they went off, Matt, for me, he was like a 12-year-old boy. When the camera was kind of looking at them coming up the dirt track, he's proper going side to side, and I could just imagine him in his helmet there going, "Wee!" Yeah, come on. He just looked like a little kid. And Bree was taking it a bit more easy. And he just looked like a massive kid. And I don't say that in a negative way. He looked like he was having the time of his life. He has done this lots of times before. And of course, it's lots and lots of fun. But again, for me, there's being a big kid and being irresponsible. And I think, for me, he was trying to show off, wasn't he? I mean,
Yeah.
how many times as a younger man, Chris, you'd have maybe some boys at school who've got their fucking Fiesta XR2 or something, doing spins, doing some donuts. These like fucking 20-something blokes trying to pick up 16-year-old girls at school, and I thought they were pricks then. I think they're pricks now.
Well, there's two things with that, Dave, and I agree with that, by the way. We've all been there and tried to show off and made ourselves look stupid. But obviously, the producers took a bad situation and made it good because the way they landed, Dave, or should I say, the way the camera went and action, as if they both fell into each other's arms off this bike. There is not a chance, and cat in hell's chance, that they landed like that. Not a fucking a prayer that wasn't staged that little bit. Obviously, falling off, it was. I'm glad that they're both okay because it is serious. Like you say, it's a serious thing. That's a heavy bike. That you try lifting a motorbike up, Dave, let alone a quad bike. And Matt and her obviously pre-picked it up eventually, but it was some weight on that. But what made me laugh was when the talking and they're together and like the interactions between the two. And Dave, I've completely forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know. You were fully bought into it and loving it and thinking everything was completely authentic.
No,
I'm
I
guessing
didn't.
that's what you were about to say.
No. What was I going to say, Chris? Come on. Oh, I know. I had a story. So, a Chris story, a very quick one. In the principle of showing off, Dave, me and Sam, 2013, we're in Vegas. Sam was calling me rotten because I'd not drunk for the first day or so. And you know me, I'm not really a massive drinker as such. I'll have a drink saying that, I have a drink on a Friday now. And we usually do get a bit plastered, but that's usually it. And she's like, we're going on. So I said, I'll tell you what, we're going to go on a pub crawl. And I can drink some under the table, Dave, but I don't like hangovers. I'm really bad. It's not a boast or anything. I am absolutely a soft ass when it comes to hangovers. I just do not like them. So I don't like
I don't think
pushing
anyone
myself.
likes them.
No, I know. I know that I'm just a mad when it comes to, I'm absolutely a soft ass when it comes to hangovers. I'm really just feel sorry for myself all day. So I never push myself to that point. It's very, very rare. So me and Sam, I said, I'll tell you what, we're going to do Rachel and Ross are friends. We're going to get wasted. We didn't need to get married. I said, if you end up with a moustache on your face, that's because that was in Vegas, obviously. And we were staying at the MGM. We walked right to the top where the Bellagio is and the Win and Encore. And we walked back on the other side of the road where like the Bellagio, Caesar's Palace is not. And we went into Treasure Island, and it's still there now, a bar called Gillies, and it had a band on. And there was a UFC was on because it was in Australia. It was in the daytime, and I'm watching it. And Michael Bisping was fighting the English like champ at the time, and he wasn't a champ then, but he's a champ now. And anyway, nothing to do with the story, Dave. They had a massive bull, one of them fake bulls like you ride, the rodeo things, the electric bull.
Yeah.
For this band, as you know, Dave, how frustrating it is when a band keeps doing the same sound check.
I know which one you mean. I've drunk there.
Yes.
It's got the rodeo bull there.
Yeah, the rodeo bull.
You've got the stage there. Yeah, more than
a
few there.
That is mad, isn't it? But yeah, it's called Gillies Bar. So we've been in there a few times. We love it in there. It's proper American cowboy style bar. And this band is just playing the same fucking line sound checking for nearly 40 minutes, Dave. And I'm thinking, fuck me, we only used to do about 2 sound checks. If that, one song, then we were done.
First 3 songs of the sound check.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, well, yeah, usually find if I'm in key or not. So we did that. And this guy, Dave, is there. And I'm sure the girls were really attractive. Me and Sam had a few drinks. And this guy decides, and everyone was getting on the rodeo bull. And I'm like, I'm not getting on it. I said, if I fall off and break my arm or I do something to my shoulder when we're on holiday, we're knackered, an American hospital and that. Insurance is going to knacker you up. So this guy, Dave, gets on showing off, right? And I mean, like, he's proper posing before he thinks he's a fucking man. He's like, yeah, and you can see him being dead cocky, really. And everyone was watching him like, oh, this guy's going to be absolutely amazing or he's going to be shit. Well, put it this way, Dave, he lasted about 5 seconds, fucking broke his arm, didn't he? Because he was showing off. He wouldn't let go of the bull, Dave, and went flying. And me and Sam were like, we should broke his arm. we may have been laughing, Dave. I'm trying to be serious. You just made me laugh.
Sorry.
No, we were laughing because we'd had a drink. We were like, you wanker. We were calling him a wanker at first, thinking, his pride was dented. No, Dave, his fucking arm was broke. And I'm like, that's one of them times where it was like, you've caused that. The poor guy's probably lost money from work and everything. He looked like a bit like a construction worker, Dave. He's a big, hefty guy. He wasn't overweight, just big, big unit.
Yeah.
And I said to Sam, he looks like it. And everyone was laughing at him, Dave. And then he come off holding his arm. And I'm like, I think it's going to kick off in a minute. Oh, it was great fun. But anyway, that's the sort of stuff that was going on with Matt. I know I've gone off on one, but
I have no idea how this ties back to Matt. But
I don't know about Matt going off on the quad bike and falling off it. But anyway, there you go. Let's move on, Dave. That was one of my little stories. But yes, so they go on the day, and obviously it's all, I buy into them as a couple. I think they're a good-looking couple. They look great together. Really seemed like an honest conversation. And genuinely, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be boring. How wrong I was after this point, Dave.
Though, I mean, a few things that are picked up on there. I agree. Beautiful couple, go together really, really well. The conversation seems authentic, do seem to have a bit of a connection there. But I don't know, Chris. Genuinely, I don't know. What is the line between romantic and buttock-clenchingly cringy? Because for me, right, they've had the quad bike. He's nearly fucking broke a neck. They get off, and he's like, I'm just going to take my shirt off here, check out these abs, and he does look like an Adonis. He looks like a Greek statue, doesn't he, when he's got his shirt off? But even if I had a body like that, Chris, I'm not sure I'd be like, I'm just going to take my shirt off here and chop this piece of wood randomly. It's like, am I supposed to be feeling like that's a romantic thing? Because it's just cringy as fuck for me, Chris. Am I just watching the wrong show?
No.
It was fucking cringy, wasn't it? Who fucking
It
does
was.
that?
I know, I know. Well, Dave, we get told off all the time for this. It's part of The Bachelor, innit? That's the whole,
What,
it
to be a
does.
cringy fucker and, like, take. For me, I guess I can't let go that there's some percentage, even if it's 1% of authenticity about this. But I just think that's just not normal, is it?
No.
Just to whip your shirt off, even I don't care if you look like fucking Arnie or whoever. It just seemed really cringy to me.
It was though, and I think you're right. Like, I mean, honestly, we look at The Bachelorette, and that was our first proper rodeo, especially on the podcast, wasn't it? And we had like the drama. We had, there was some terribly cringy moments on it, and we got corrected a few times, didn't we, Dave? Like we got called out. But do you think, honestly, and I am question, I think Victoria is a plant, Dave. Or I'm not even calling her Queen Victoria because she's an idiot. But I just think that she is a plant because it's what we want. We want drama, but I don't get her angle. Does she think Matt is going to buy into her? I honestly don't understand her.
Well, she's something with one syllable, but I'm not sure I can say it on the podcast. I don't know about a plant. It's something that sounds a bit like that. Right, so I didn't like her from last week, and so I've taken some notes just in chronological order, and she just consistently pops up, and then so we've heard about this villain edit, and I don't know. At the end of the day, for me, a villain edit is kind of someone puts together all your worst bits and makes you look even, a few percent more of a cock than you actually are, in context. And
Yeah.
she just comes across as horrible because straight away, even when Bree's getting a date there, she's got a fucking face like a slapped arse. She's just going, I'm not jealous. I just want that. Kind of think that's jealousy, to be honest. When you're coveting what other people have, and so I think she's not 100% wrong in what she's saying because I think there is a level of is it is it politeness because these girls don't know each other, so is it politeness or is it fake where they're saying, oh, I'm so happy for her, this person that I met like yesterday, I'm so happy that she's got to do this. Well, no. Actually, in that moment I think Victoria's kind of right to internally say that to herself. It's like, well, I fucking want that. But that is
Yeah.
jealousy, Chris. But I think the way she does it is just it's antagonizing, isn't it, to everyone around? And I was wondering to myself, well, I've got two things for you, Chris.
Yeah.
This thing of Victoria, I'm the queen and Matt is my king, right? You know who she is? She's the fucking Shermanator from American Pie, right? So the fact that Sherman sounds a bit like Terman, and he puts the inator on at the end, he's the fucking Shermanator, and that's his one note, and he keeps going back to that, and he gets called out for it in the end. Stop it with the fucking Queen thing. You were christened with a name that happens to be also an English monarch, right? That's the start, middle, and an end of it. Don't make your whole fucking persona or create your whole persona around this fucking thing that your name is Victoria. Because let's face it, it's fucking Vicky. But yeah, she's pretty horrible. And now the second, so that was the first thing. She's the Shermanator for me. The second thing, and this is a genuine question, Chris, because we've seen plenty of gaslighting, haven't we, on these various dating shows? And I've said to you that I'm glad there's a word to describe what goes on now, because this sort of thing you've seen happen throughout your adult life. You just haven't had a descriptor for it. Can you gaslight friends as well as partners?
I'm sure I've gaslight you a few times, Dave.
Right, so this is my understanding, and I invite any listeners as well who've got an opinion about this, write to us in, and if I'm getting it wrong, but my understanding of it is you're basically trying to convince the other person of a different reality, and you're so adamant about that you are you're making the other person feel like they're the ones in the wrong or like they're doing something wrong. And again, just twisting what reality is. Because for me, Chris, that's what she's doing all the time. She's
Yeah,
making out like she's this massive victim, but she's just a fucking see you next Tuesday.
yeah. I can't put it better. I think poor Marilyn bore the brunt of it and all that. I'm going to go and sleep on the sofa. Well, all right then, fair enough. I'll have a double room to myself then. I didn't understand the logic. And honestly, Dave, I know we don't see everything, and I know in the past. And the first thing I see with Victoria, Dave, is vulnerability. I know she spoke to Matt later on. She's obviously really, really insecure. But that is not the way to act. Her parents or somebody close to her has got to pull her to one side and go, that is not the way to act with people. You can't be like that 24/7. And you can tell it's bravado. Under there might be a lovely girl, but at the moment she looks, her whole look and her attitude is pretty terrible, if I'm being honest. And it is great TV, but fuck me. I was sat there at the screen going, wow, you are horrid. Really are.
And normally it's me being the one on the fence and trying to analyze things and
Calm me down.
leave the door open. She's not a lovely girl inside there, Chris. She's not.
How dare you,
She's
David?
fucking not at all. And I'll tell you why, right? So there could be something off camera that we've not seen about
Yes.
Mary Lynn. Something off camera. There you go. I'll leave the door open for that. But when basically, and I'll come to Matt in a second as well, Mary Lynn seeks out Victoria. Doesn't have to. She's trying to diffuse the situation. All I see is someone who's trying to repair some bridges which have been burned. But then Victoria is, again, playing out the victim. Oh, you've said things that upset me, blah, blah, blah. She's playing out the victim, but at the same time, she's like, I don't want to sit next to you. She's creating a power dynamic in that conversation. On my terms, I'm going to sit over here because basically you're a fucking scumbag and I hate you.
Yeah.
That's why she's not a nice girl. I don't care what they've fucking edited together. You can tell just from that moment she's being an absolute C next Tuesday. And your original point was, is she a plant? Well, she's fucking something. She's either a plant or she's really, really not a nice person at all.
But you've well gone today,
I
David. I
fucking
like
can't
it.
stand
You
people
have
like
gone.
that. You've met people like that in your life, haven't you? And
Yeah.
it's just like it's all about me, me, me. And then as soon as you like try and have a sensible conversation back, it's stop attacking me. Fuck off,
Yeah.
Chris. I fucking cannot stand Victoria. There you go. I said it. I'm not leaving the door open either. It's nothing to do with editing. She's just a fucking. I don't even know. I
You
don't.
nearly
I
said
don't
it
want to
then,
go
didn't you?
there. I don't want to go there. But you know where I want to go.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Go on, talk me down off the ledge. Tell me I'm wrong, Chris.
No, it's fine. Just make sure that them emails where you're complaining everybody, it's about David. It wasn't
I
me.
would gladly take anything. If anyone says to me, "Oh, I've got a friend like this," and actually, oh, you know what, Chris? Oh, she's got that bravado, that rough exterior, but underneath she's got a heart of gold. Bullshit, right? I need Carl Pilkington's bullshit man to come in, fly through the window, and just call bullshit on that. Because again, she wants to be the center of attention of everything, and she is just horrible. There you go, Chris. I found a word that was slightly below, a few notches below what I want to
What
say.
you wanted to
Horrible,
say, yeah.
horrible will do.
Yeah, fair enough, Dave. Fair enough. I have nothing more to add to that, Dave. I think you've absolutely put the full stop on Victoria. But as her, I agree with you. The one thing I would say, and what I didn't get, was when Matt said, I'm not very happy about Mary Lynn bullying Victoria. I was like, holy shit. Somebody on the production's got to step in and go, actually, we can't have this. Because I'm thinking, you manipulative lady. that was the only bit that I thought was
Lady.
terrible.
Yeah, all right.
I know, yeah,
Um,
sorry. I don't know why I'm trying to be
you're
nice.
fucking is this,
It's a role
vice
reversal.
versa? You know, when
Yeah.
what was it? Is it vice versa? Oh, yeah,
Vice
the movie where they switch. Jodie Foster was in the original, and then you had, the wild child of Hollywood. What's her name? She was in it as well.
Drew Barrymore.
Not Drew Barrymore. She's got, like, red hair. She was in all the Disney things when she
Jodie
was
Foster.
younger.
No, I'm well off here, aren't I, Dave? I don't know.
Oh, I can see her in my mind's eye. I just can't think of what her name is. But anyway, yeah, it's vice versa today. Yeah, so Matt, I was thinking, I didn't like Matt's role in this. And I was trying to think, would. Because actually, we kind of saw this a little bit with Tasha, didn't we? On the first night. Not Tasha, Claire.
Yeah.
Where the other guy was a Zach, another Zach, I think it might have been, and Yosef, and Zach was trying to call out Yosef, saying he's not a nice person. And then she jettisoned him. You know, so that was different, wasn't it? Because actually, I'll sing
Yeah.
Claire's praises here. She actually heard what they both had to say. Whereas what Matt did here, because Victoria was the first one to get her jabs in, he kind of believed her more, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the dynamic became like he wasn't aggressively interrogating Mary Lynn, but it felt like she was the one having to defend herself. And I think she said words to that effect. She feels like she has to defend herself. Listen, if I'm up in court and I need a lawyer, I won't be getting fucking Mary Lynn, that's for sure, because I don't think she did a very good job of defending herself. If it was me, Chris, I'd be saying, look, if it's me against her, then it's just he said, she said bullshit, as the Limp
Yeah.
Bizkit song goes. Ask other
Yeah.
people. Speak to the other
Yeah.
girls. I'm telling you, for whatever reason, she's singling me out. But I'd probably try and find different words. But she's a fucking nightmare. Quite honestly,
Yeah.
that's it. She's creating a lot of drama in the house. Everything has to revolve around her. But speak to the other girls. Don't just take my word for it. She could have said anything like that, but she didn't, and so she went off. And I think Matt was kind of believing Victoria more because she was the first one to come up with that information. And I don't ever think it's a good tactic when you're trying to get to know someone to spend your time throwing someone else under the bus.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on that. And what I would say, Dave, is we've all been on the wrong end of that, where usually somewhere in the middle is the truth. And that was just like that was like childish, wasn't it? I suppose she's immaturity as well to believe that she's going to get away with that and get her kicked out. That is just like completely headstrong for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything from Mary Lynn. I was a bit disappointed in MJ, if I'm honest, because when Victoria comes across some of the other girls and she starts bad mouthing Mary Lynn and saying, "Oh, just no one wanted to stand up to her." So actually, you can see it, can't you? She's just going to be one of those girls at high school who kind of she ends up with a circle of friends. This is Mean Girls, Chris, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Basically.
You
Yeah.
end up with a circle of friends because they're as fucking mean as you are, and also you don't want to end up at the rough end of it. So rather than be bullied, you just kind of go along with things.
Yeah.
I just think it's very, very unpleasant to watch because Victoria's claiming she's been bullying. I'm saying she is the one doing the bullying. That whole thing
Yeah.
about, I don't want to sit next to you, that for me is belittling and being verbally abusive.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a case of look in the mirror. Just look in the mirror. I don't see anything at the moment from what we've seen edited. I don't see anything that is aimed at Victoria other than them all looking at each other, going, "What the fuck is she talking about?" And that's the reaction from every single one of them. It's not like one or two people where you might clash with someone you just don't like, everyone in the room, all the ladies in the room are like, what the hell is she talking about?
And
So,
that's where I'll leave the door slightly open to say, well, that could be editing, couldn't it? They could just
yes, it could.
put it together that way. They could even pull in a sour face from a fucking completely different conversation and edit it in there, because they're obviously trying to push her to the front. I still say you don't say those horrible things, and you don't get pushed to the front as the villain, do you?
No, no. There's a reason that they all don't like her, Dave. So, and they're living with her 24/7, or they have been. So, yeah, interesting. But I mean, as you're going through the episode, Dave, there was a couple of other little things there as well, weren't there? So, um, we had Matt had gone on a date with Victoria, not Victoria,
Brie.
Lauren, Brie, and he'd gone with Lauren and said about she wanted looking for a man of faith, which he did mention that he's not one to talk about religion, but he's on the same wavelength. He wants someone with the same values. So that's quite an interesting one. That could be a sleeper, that one, Dave. Because we saw what happened in the Bachelorette with Tasha, didn't we? And Ivan. So Ivan, sorry.
Yeah, and obviously he got his prayers in episode 1, didn't he? So
Mm,
they
yeah,
they seem to be on the same page with their kind of religious beliefs and what have you. So yeah, I again, it's hard to fucking say, isn't it? Because there's when you start off with 32 girls, Chris,
yeah,
it's fucking a lot, isn't it? So we're in the really early days, and again, just getting back to Victoria, it makes it even more bizarre that she would be so put out at not getting selected for the very first date. Actually, I do just want to say one thing, Chris, just on that Brie date, because we got it in the end clip
yeah.
where Brie and Matt are trying to roll the quad bike back over, and she asks him if he smokes ass. Now, what does that mean, Chris?
I thought she said she smelled gas, but yeah, I don't know. I do think she said smoked ass. So,
So
anyway,
that's an interesting question on a first date, isn't it? And so, is that a biking thing? Because I know what it fucking appears to sound like, and I was just like, that is weird. So maybe that's it. Do you smell gas? Do you smoke
yeah,
gas,
I thought she said gas.
or do you smoke gas? Maybe if you're like maybe if you're in a bike and you're the second person, you're getting the exhaust fumes. Maybe that's it. I,
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know, Chris. I'll probably leave other people to try and analyze what she was going for there, because I don't think it's how it came across. I was just genuinely perplexed. I didn't know what this was, but yeah, the whole thing with was it Lauren? Was it that came after the wedding date pictures? And again, I thought, "Oh, crikey, this is a bit soon for all this stuff, isn't it?"
Yeah,
Again, I thought it was a bit odd because they rattled off so many people. You had Chelsea there, Sydney, Abigail, Kristen, Lauren, Serena C, Kit, Kylie. I fucking lost count of how many people were there. Not everyone got a photo. Of course, Victoria did because she bullied her way through to the front. Um, had the old wedding garter thing on as well, which you could see everyone had a sour face at that, didn't they? But
yeah.
yeah, what did you make to the paintballing or the capture the heart?
I tell you what, Dave, you got a little bit rough, It's
It
a,
seemed to, didn't it?
a little bit. It wasn't on the levels just yet at the Bachelorette with the wrestling incident and Jason and that. The way that went a bit south, didn't it? But it did get a little bit nasty. There was a few things thrown in people's faces. I thought, oh, there's a bit of afters going on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a bit of fun, wasn't it? A little bit of fun, lightens everything up. Everyone just sort of gets a bit of frustration out. I think they're quite interesting little games within the story of the episode, I think. So yeah, I had no problem with it. I was just more looking to see if somebody actually give him a brick or something, as in a brick, a proper punch, Dave. When I say brick, I don't mean hit him with a brick. I mean like they've actually stiffed him or something with a proper dig or a kick or something.
Well, I think Mari was the one who grabbed the heart initially, And she held on tight to that thing because she had about 5 girls around her trying to get it off her. And I thought that was quite interesting. She got the MVP, so the most valuable bride of the date. So, I think she was on the losing team, wasn't she? But because she got that, she got to go on the date as well. But no, I thought it was a bit of good fun. And like you say, when it started off, I'm thinking this is going to be not that competitive. And there was one, I didn't see who it was, but a very limp kind of throw of a paint balloon. But then after that, it all got pretty fucking serious. I thought someone's gonna get smashed here. But what else happened after that? Oh, Chris, we got the Sarah date, which
Yeah,
was a
that
bit
was
of a
sad, wasn't it?
bit of a biplane sort of thing. So, what do
Mm.
you reckon to that one?
That wasn't bad that Dave. Actually, it's a pretty good day, and I think once Sarah was talking to Matt, I mean, geez, Dave, that girl's going through something, isn't she? All that problem she's had with her father and everything. And obviously, the poor guy's seriously ill. She likened his disease to Stephen Hawking's ALS, didn't she? So, yeah, it was pretty sad to be honest.
It's Lou Gehrig's disease. That's why everyone was doing the ice
Yeah,
challenge a few years ago, isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, pretty rough. And she'd basically given up her career to be, a full time carer. Or I think she called it a caregiver. I don't guess that's what they call it in the US, but over here it'd be a carer. I thought, crikey, that is a big challenge. But also, who's fucking looking after him right now?
I know. I know. She did say he wanted us to find true love, didn't he? On the show, that's why she's done it. She
Yeah.
begrudgingly came on, but yeah, I don't know. I don't. I'd hope to think it's a sincere conversation, Dave. I really would,
Oh,
and I
I
think
think
it was.
it is.
I don't think it's a blag or anything.
I don't think I agree, but I think it's also, because this is not now our first rodeo, is it?
No,
We can
no.
see that if you're going to go up to the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, you need a sob story. You need to be armed and ready. You need to have your elevator pitch audible ready to go so that when you get on that date, you're going to spill the beans.
It's just weird. Not weird, but just everyone throws everything out, don't they, on this show, Dave? And it's good to get a grounding and understanding of these people, but that's a really personal story to share on TV.
And,
Really
and
personal.
I quite like Sarah. She does seem quite
No, she's a nice
authentic.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. She's one of the, there's only a couple of them who at the moment I really think are quite nice people. I think Brie was nice at the start of the
Mhm.
episode, and then look, I'll be honest with you, Dave. I lost track of what was going at the end when we get to the rose ceremony, and obviously Matt's there, and he's a bit nervous, and he's talking to all the girls and that. I did think Victoria took a dive, Dave. I'll be honest with you, and it wasn't, was it? It was bloody Sarah, and I'm thinking, has she had some sort of like a panic attack or something? Is this because it's all her whole life is really riding on her getting in this relationship and making some money or something? I don't know, but she really, really took it. And we don't know the full extent of what's happened, but it looked like she'd had some sort of panic attack or something like that.
I don't know. I think it's just one of those. You kind of. I think it was Sarah. It wasn't that clear who it was, but I think it was her. Um, and ultimately, she's been on a long day. They've kind of been eating bits, and then they're stood up for God knows how long, for how many takes or whatever. I think she's just sort of fainted a bit. I
True.
don't think I don't think it's a panic attack as such. I don't think we're not that far along. It's not like it's the final four and it's like, oh shit, I only wanted some Instagram followers. I might actually win this.
Jason.
My fucking
Yeah.
whole life is going to be under the microscope from now. No, I don't think it was that. I think it was just one of those. I can imagine a few people. Chris, how many weddings have you seen? I mean, I don't watch You've Been Framed these days, but how many people where you just see the best man and he just fucking keels over and face plants
Yeah.
the floor?
Yeah. True. It's having loads at weddings, actually.
Yeah, so and I think that's just well, some of it's probably alcohol induced as well, but having a bit of a hangover and whatever. So I don't see it as anything more than that. But I mean, just calling out who got a rose beforehand. So obviously, we saw Lauren got a rose, Sarah had got a rose, Bree had got a rose. At the ceremony, we had Piper, Kit, I think it was Maggie, Rachel, Abigail, Chelsea, Senya. I think that's how you pronounce it. Old old dildo Katie there and Serena C. And then that was when all the kind of fainting drama kind of happened. So they ended up bringing up the whole to be continued. And so we'll find out who gets it. But Chris, this is what annoys me, right? Couldn't they be a bit smarter? Because surely the way they've cut this episode, they know that we think Victoria is pretty horrible. And even though I kind of want her to stick around for the drama, because she's dominated our episode, got us talking, certainly got my blood boiling. But we see Victoria in next week's clips.
Yes, we do, because we see it's kicking off again, don't we?
Yeah, and again, it looks like she's right in the thick of the drama there, but it's like, well, in the chronology of the episode, we don't know that she's got through yet, so you've just spoiled yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I still don't get that. I said to you, I'm not a big fan of the reveal, next week's show. I'm not a big fan. I know that is the Bachelor 101 and it's a lot of the American shows that we watch and that, but I'm not a big fan. I want to go into it quite blind and not think, what was the trailer all about? It's obviously Victoria causing shit again. I know. Maybe it's just because in the UK they don't really do that, but I think it adds to the drama if you reveal it and you do get that jaw dropping thing of going, holy shit. Whereas this, I think it takes a bit of the drama and excitement away slightly.
Yeah, I do think it does, and I think you can show what happens next week, and you can show that there's a bit of drama, but don't spoil yourself. That just seems idiocy to me. Chris, imagine going and watching Avengers Infinity War, and then, you finish, and it's obviously that movie, half the listeners are probably saying, oh, don't watch that shit. But at the end of that movie, it finishes on a real downer. And it comes up at the end, next year. And then it shows you a bunch of, well, don't worry, because everyone's going to survive. You have like Spider-Man and Black Panther and everyone, and they come back. And it's, you already see that. So you've watched the movie, and then you're already seeing a bit of Endgame that you're going to see next year. Just fucking spoiled everything, haven't you, for yourself?
Well, Dave, it's like, yeah, you're right. It's like you think one of your heroes is dead. And next minute, it's like, and next week we talk about his struggle in hospital. And it's like, well, he's not gone then, has he? Or she is gone. It is. I just don't get that. But I mean, look, it's a reality show. It's not exactly, like you say, if it was Avengers Endgame or Infinity War or something that you really, really don't want to reveal the end, then fair enough. This is just something, I just think it takes it away. That's just my personal opinion anyway. You've been the bad guy this episode, Dave, so I'm quite happy with this. So I'm just going to sit on the fence today.
I just think, why would you spoil your own show?
Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No, I agree with that. Right, Dave. So, another great episode. As always, guys, if you want to contact us at CD RealityCast on social media, if you want to email us, get your emails in. Me and Dave will always read them out. You know that. cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And a big thanks to all our listeners, as always, and our great friends over on Facebook. If you want to get over there, get over Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast and join the group, and we'll all have a good chat about The Bachelor. Some great conversations last week. And I will say, Dave, I love the name Hennessy Green. What a name that guy is. I love that name. Yeah. It's a cracking name. We don't get that in England. We get, fucking hell, I nearly said Dave.
Dave, Steve, Phil,
Chris,
Mark.
Yeah. Throw me in there as well, Dave. But just standard names. Brian, yes. We get all them, Dave, Anyway, Henry, what a great name that is. But yeah, every time a team comment, I love that name. So if you're listening, my friend, it's a cracker. But anyway, Dave, great episode, mate, and thank you for indulging us again. And I'm so glad that you went full heel today.
Yeah, I did. So, Chris, how can everyone get in contact with us? I'm only taking a bit. I was actually listening to you that time.
Once. And I got called out for not listening to you and laughing. But anyway, yeah.
Chris, it has been awesome. I'm going to go and have a lie down after that rant, I think.
I'll see you all next time.
Bye now.